Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you? Just getting set up.
We'll give people a couple moments to get on, and then we'll start with our accountability. Everyone have a good, productive weekend. Excellent.
As productive as it could be, taking care of some.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to juggle. How are they doing?
Yeah, it is. Huh?
How have they been doing with the transition home or to your house?
Okay. There's just it's his house, and it's just he has so many limitations, and he has to go in for blood draws each day to make sure that his levels are within a certain. I mean, there's so much to it because this is his second open heart surgery, so there's a lot to it, but he's handling it pretty well.
That's good. No. Excellent. Well, good job. Keep it up. Joanna, you want to go next?
Yesterday, I received a call for a couple who met the other day in an open house.
Okay.
And they said they are really interested in that property and they want to see the property again and maybe make an offer. And we are going to see the property this afternoon.
Hey, awesome. Q, how is everything going with you?
And my house I'll get June, so just visit the open around the neighborhood. Yes, and Saturday to see how on, and then with my dad's houses. So
awesome.
Get information that I'm experiencing. And I just started pilot my con with my so
awesome. Good job. Young, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to turn the little ding dong sound on in case people roll in a little bit late. Adriana's going to be able to hear them. And then today you have Adriana, who is our agent service coordinator and market center tech trainer out of our Sunset Corridor office in Hillsborough. She earned her bachelor's degree in business communication from the University of California, San Diego, along with a digital marketing certification from their Extended Studies Division. Before joining Keller Williams, she worked as an escrow assistant in Los Angeles County for 2 years. She is passionate about technology, marketing, and helping agents grow their business presence online. Outside of KW, she enjoys volunteering with Girl Scouts, attending concerts, and traveling to new places. So you guys are in really good hands for today's course. We're all focused on building that social media presence and starting to lead generate using that platform. I'm really excited to hand it over to her, and I'll let her take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Mara. Can you guys hear me okay, first off? Okay, perfect. So yeah, thank you, Mara, for the great introduction. I'm going to share my screen. That way, okay. Sorry, I gotta let my system's preference. Yes. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, hold up. Okay, Mara, I'm having a technical difficulty real quick. I'm trying to just fix the permissions on here.
Welcome in, Phoenix. Everyone just joined the KW family on Friday. She is our newest KW family member. Adriana is teaching today on the social media class. She's just working out some technology difficulties. Fits us perfectly for our tech class.
I know, and I just fixed 3 different issues, so yeah, now I'm ready.
You got it. No worries at all.
Hey, the social media class is what I really wanted. I'm glad it worked.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Yeah, it was having trouble letting me edit my settings for some reason, but I think I got it figured out. I'm just pulling up the slides. Here we go. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay, perfect. Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys can hear me okay? Everything's good? All right, thank you. Yeah, just had some things to fix, but that happens. Thank you for being patient. But yeah, like Mara said, my name is Adriana. I'm the Agent Services Coordinator and Market Center Tech Trainer at Keller Williams Sunset Corridor. And we're here today to talk about how to capture leads with social media. So if you've been following along in the Ignite schedule, let's click here. Last time you guys talked about how to capture leads with open houses. So today we're going to talk about social media. And also if it's your first Ignite class, I don't know if it's anyone's, but just welcome. We're happy to have you. And if it's your second, third, 15th, we love having you here. So we'll get started. Today we're going to capture or talk about how to capture leads with social media. We're going to go over a 10-5-1 engagement plan. We're going to talk about the 80-20 principle, and we're also going to look at some other strategies that you can employ on social media. So here's our agenda, just a quick little overview. We'll come back to it as we go throughout. But basically by the end of this session, you'll be able to employ the 10-5-1 engagement system. You'll be able to explain the importance of limiting your social media posts to 20% of your business content. And then you'll also be able to identify social media engagement strategies that add value to not only your business, but the people in your network as well. So to start to think about what we're going to learn today, let's first consider maybe some questions that we have right off the bat. That way, as we go through the lesson, we can kind of answer those along the way. So if anyone has any questions, now's the time to just right off the bat. Maybe something you're interested in learning or are maybe already having like an issue with or something. I'll wait for at least one person.
Adriana, I'm
Yeah.
really interested in how to know make some content and some posts of content of value for buyers and clients.
Perfect. It's a great one. We're definitely going to talk about that a little bit, probably mostly with the 80-20 principle and a little bit about the social media strategies. So just pay really close attention during those lessons for sure, because we'll go over that. But thank you, Draga. So first off, we're going to talk about, what social media platform do you use the most? We're going to start off talking about what we're already using. So I know probably the really big ones are going to be like Facebook, Instagram. I know TikTok's pretty up and coming. Those are probably like the top 3. Do you guys use any other ones?
I don't use any. I mean, I've used them before, but I'm not good at social media. So literally,
Okay.
I need to learn.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, there's plenty of people who do not. So that's another thing we got to think about as well. Along with that, I want you to think about how often you're posting on each platform, if you are at all. Just think about that as well, because as we go through, we're going to kind of go over that. So let's go on to the next slide. So here's a quote we have from Gary Keller in The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Can I get a volunteer that wants to read? One wants to read today. It's okay, we'll go. So the quote says, it takes time to learn something, more time to implement it, and even longer to approach the mastery of it. So we kind of want to start off with this just to give you that, headspace that this is a lot of information. You're not going to be able to employ all of it at once, just at the end of this class. My goal is to have you leave here with at least one action item that you can go ahead and implement right after this, or maybe even during it, because we're going to have a few little break times. So just something to think about. It's going to take time to learn it and then also implement things. Again, you're going to probably implement like 1 or 2 things today, but then you'll implement more later on as well. And with that comes the mastery of it, to where you feel comfortable posting on social media. You feel comfortable, scheduling things out, even just posting a video of yourself. Sometimes it takes a bit to get there to where you want to post a video of you talking to the camera to your database. So yeah, it's a safe space. It's going to be fun. We love social media. So while we're here, I also want to talk about, real quick, before we get into 1051, TCPA disclaimer. So legally, you are, aware of the TCPA. And so it's important to know that even with social media, if you're conducting lead generation at all, you want to reference your Market Center DBA name, not Keller Williams generically, in all your social and written media. And this reinforces that you're independent contractors affiliated with your Keller Williams Market Center. So that just basically means if you're part of Sunset, you're going to want to have Keller Williams Sunset Corridor on there. Same thing with Capital City, Eugene, Springfield, so on. Just make sure you have that full Market Center name on there just for compliance reasons. And then there's also state rules for posting and the NAR's guidelines for posting as well. And those, it says, should be linked in your participant guide. But if not, it's pretty easy just to search them up on Google. So just things to be aware of if you're doing anything that's lead generation wise. And also just a tip, if you do use command social media for the scheduling thing for social media, there's actually an option on there where it will add the logo for you already. So you don't even have to worry. As long as you have the Market Center logo, you just check a little box and it'll add it there for you. So there we go. Now we're going to get into the 1051 engagement system. So let's review 1051. I'm guessing you guys might have had a little bit of an intro with it already. If not, that's okay. But if you have, you've probably, or even if you haven't, I guess, you've probably already been liking and commenting and DMing people just inherently, just by using social media already. So if you think about it, you've kind of already been using this system, just maybe not at that intentional level where you're intentionally going and making sure you check off all these boxes. So today we're going to kind of dive deep and explore the tools for success within this system. So first off, does anyone want to explain or take a guess of what they think the 1051 system is?
10 likes, 5 comments, maybe 1 post.
Yep, perfect. Did you know this?
From Mara.
Okay, perfect. See, you've been listening. We love it. So yeah, that's perfect. Got it right off the bat. And I just want to know if, as you've been posting more and maybe liking posts more often, have any of you already seen a change in engagement on your activity or your posts? Or if you're not on social media, maybe just if you're emailing or calling people more, how does being intentional help your business already? If you've seen any change, just give me like a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, cool, thank you. This is just something to help you. If you systematize it, it's something that you're gonna remember and you're gonna do more often. This one, I think, is one of the systems that's, personally for me, I think one of the easiest ones, just because you get to scroll on social media. It's something that you might even do already. So just make it purposeful while you're on there. We want to talk about too, which apps are popular. I know in the beginning we mentioned just some of the ones that we've been using. But like I said, I think probably TikTok Instagram and Facebook are probably the most people are on those two at least. I know TikTok's really big right now too, but that's like a completely different type of platform. So that's something to think about. You want to be on platforms that a lot of people are on. You want to be able to reach your database where they're at. You don't want them to have to come to you because that takes a lot more effort. Chances are they're not going to want to do it. But if you see a lot of your people, a lot of your friends, family, a lot of people in your database have a Facebook or maybe they have an Instagram, I would consider, getting those platforms just so you can reach them at another space as well. Is there any social media platform that someone doesn't use? Is someone like not on Instagram or Facebook? I know Phoenix, I think you mentioned you're not really on social media much.
I have accounts, but it's stuff I barely use and stopped using years ago. Yeah.
Makes sense. But you're familiar with like how it works and things like that, at least, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, most of them, especially I'm going to talk about Facebook and Instagram a lot, just because again, they're like the most popular, and they're also owned by the same company. So Meta runs both of them. I highly recommend, just if you are just starting off or just want to be intentional about like one thing, getting a Facebook and Instagram and connecting it. That way, all you have to do is post once and it'll go out on both channels. So that just makes it easier for you if you're just starting out or want to be intentional and start somewhere. Social media is a powerful and free marketing tool. Most people are on it nowadays. And if you're not talking to them every day, they're seeing content every day from other people. It's a great way to expand your sphere with your smartphone. You can do it anywhere pretty much, as long as you have Wi-Fi or data. And it's just a really easy way to kind of check in with people, keep people up to date, keep you up to date on what other people are doing. And it's a great way, again, just to engage with your followers. So, if you ever see someone posting a happy post of maybe a birthday, anniversary, something like that, you're probably going to like the post. You're probably going to leave a comment. You might even go ahead and reach out to them individually just to be like, oh, hey, I'm so happy for you, and things like that. So it's just something easy that everyone kind of does, and it's a great way to reach people. So we kind of want to go with that in mind as we go into the engagement system. So like Joanna said, the first part of the 10-5-1 is going to be our 10 likes or loves, depending on the platform you're on. Every day you should like or love or whatever, just heart, or react in general to a minimum of 10 posts a day. You want to make sure these are posts, obviously, of other people. You don't want to go around liking your own post and count that, because it doesn't count. But just, it's something that's easy. You might even be doing already, but just being intentional. So having that, I'm going to like at least 10 posts today, even if that means just scrolling and liking everyone that pops up. That is what it is. But, I said, as long as you do that, you might want to go and like look up a few people maybe you haven't, reached out to in a bit, see if they've posted anything new. Just like a few on their page, because people notice. People don't like to admit it, but every time you see a notification pop up that, oh, so-and-so liked your photo or so-and-so commented, you're going to click it. You're going to go look. So it's just something to have people think about you without like directly saying, hey, like I'm thinking of you. If they see that you're liking it, they know you're thinking of them because they just saw you like a post. So it's, in general, social media is a fantastic tool. Again, and it's free to use when it comes to marketing and prospecting. It's important to be active on your social media of choice because it's going to help you generate new business. And I say that in the way that if you don't love Facebook, but you love Instagram, it's fine if you don't want to post on Facebook. Be on Instagram, but be intentional about it. And, put your focus into that. Don't just have every single social media platform and not do anything on it. If you're trying to use this to build your business, you have to, work at it. And you're not going to work on a platform that you don't enjoy. It just doesn't really work. So you might as well use one that you already know how to use and you like using, and you know that people in your database are using as well. So can anyone give me maybe a few ways that interacting with other people on social media can help you build your business? Basically, what's the point of social media if you're a real estate agent?
Stay in front of as many people as you can and let them know about what you're doing.
Yep. It's a great one, Stacey. Okay, one more. I have a list of a few, so I want to hear what you guys have first. Maybe Q or cool.
I don't know. I haven't quite thought about it. I don't see, well, to be honest with you, I don't quite see a value of social media currently, because my is quite limited to those who are from like out, right? This is licensed in Oregon, but all my different states, from different country in different countries. I don't know how useful it's for my business for the moment. So, for me to use this media, I better strategic system of Facebook, Facebook or LinkedIn social media. I have to systemize it to be useful. So currently, I don't quite see value here unless I make contacts within Oregon. So obviously, if you have social media accounts and then if you have a lot of followers and followers, then the frequent exposure of my be directly. However, I don't know how to make a move currently, so I have to come up with something. Obviously, it's not useful at the moment. So, however, and I never used social media to find a property for my investment for my residential. So when I try to find my own investment properties, Zillow and other real estate related online companies, I buy things like that, and I have of selling one of my investment properties to Zillow. So I found those companies very useful. But then spending a time, I early. So I'm to listen.
Yeah, for
Your
sure.
tech and other people's experience, then I can implement strategies.
Yeah. And it's going to be, social media is going to be different for every person's business. And I know you mentioned that you have a lot of family, like out of state or overseas. And it's something that social media, we really just want to think of it as a way to kind of connect you with people. You want to build relationships through the social media. It's not necessarily going to get every single listing you have sold or find a buyer for any listing that you share. It's just getting it out there. You want to show your presence. You want to show that you're working as a real estate agent now. And also, if you do have people out of state, maybe you can't necessarily help them find a place in Oregon, but if you have referral agents in other states, just letting them know, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I know I'm from California, so I can tell people like, yeah, I can't do business in California, but I know someone who can, and I can connect you with a great realtor. Guess what? That's a referral for you. That's still income for you.
Absolutely, that's well. And if you expand your sphere, and if you know on another, if they get it to Oregon and Pearl, yeah, that's one way to go about it. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people are super willing to connect on social media too. If they see that, hey, like, if I'm working in Oregon and I know someone who's thinking of going to California, I'm probably just going to search up California real estate agents. And chances are there's going to be a lot of people on social media that are popping up. That's one way to find them. There's other ways as well. But it's just mostly, we'll kind of talk through it throughout as well. But there's plenty of different uses for social media. So everyone's going to have it like a little bit different. And a lot of it's just kind of finding your niche, finding out what works for you, even if it's just posting about yourself and keeping people up to date, because there's always people who love to just see what you're up to and check in with you, especially if it's friends and family. There's all these people that care for you and they want to know what you're up to. So I have a few, I just put like bullet points of maybe ways that this could help you build your business. Sorry. So the first one I put, kind of what I was talking about already, is just brand awareness. So as a real estate agent, you are literally your own brand. You are your whole business, you know, unless you start building a team, then that goes on. But you want to start by putting your best foot forward, and you want people to think of you as a brand. Whether that means maybe you only use certain color scheme. Maybe you have a logo and you only use the colors that are on that logo. Maybe you're someone who's very professional and you come off, you know, you're wearing the blazers, you're having the professional headshots done, things like that. Or maybe you're someone that's a lot more casual and you just want to be like more friendly and use a lot of emojis, and maybe you just have a lot of like playful posts on there. You want to build your brand and let people know kind of what you're about, because as you probably already know, not everyone is going to be the best fit to work with you. You know, this is part of being your own independent contractor. You get to choose who you want to work with and when. So you want to be able to find people that you're going to work well with, you know, and being on social media, showing your brand that way, people are going to connect with you a lot more easily, especially if they see you already. Maybe they are super playful and like kind of out there and everything, and they're like, I don't think I'd work well with somebody who's like super professional. That's fine. They're going to find someone who fits, you know, their ideal realtor in their head. So you want to be able to post that and show off who you are. Another way is through event awareness. So maybe you're having like a client event coming up, or you're teaching, I know like buyer seminars are pretty popular. That's a great way to post it out there, so that way people can see what's upcoming. Let them know, hey, send me, or comment if you want me to send you the link to sign up, or comment if you want me to save you a seat at my upcoming event. There's also, you know, if you're advertising a listing, or maybe you're doing an open house. I always like when I see people, especially on the stories. So if you guys are familiar with like Instagram or Facebook, at the very top, it's usually like a circle or like a square, but they're called like highlights or like stories. And up there, they last, I think, for 24 hours. So you can just kind of post it as like a quick update to like what you're doing. So if you're ever doing an open house, just kind of like, you know, filming the open house a little bit and just being like, hey, like I'm at an open house today. Here's the time. Comment or send me a DM if you want the address and I can send it to you. That way they can come show up. It's also a great way to attract buyers and listings. So again, kind of with the brand awareness thing, people want to work with people that they like. You want to find commonalities and build off of those. So maybe you're posting about your interests, your lifestyle, things like that. People who see that and have those things in common with you are going to resonate with you. And they're probably in their head going to think, hey, if I like XYZ and Adriana likes XYZ too, chances are we probably have more things in common, you know? And if we're already connecting on these things, I feel like we'd get along pretty well. So it kind of breaks down that barrier almost of people acting like, well, I don't know this person, but if they're seeing you post things about yourself, they feel like they know you a little bit better. So it kind of breaks the ice a little bit more, to where, you know, if it's kind of scary if you're, think of like cold calls, you're calling these people, you know nothing about them. But if you could cold call somebody that maybe you saw on like, you saw their profile somehow, it makes it a little bit easier because at least you know like a little bit of background information on them. So in the end, if they have all these things, hopefully it means that you'll get along and work well together. So on to the next part of the 10-5-1, we have our 5 comments. So beyond your likes, you're also going to want to make sure that you comment on at least 5 posts a day. Doesn't have to be like a crazy essay or anything. Just a few words of, you know, encouragement, maybe congratulations, or just like a positive comment. It's good to spread, you know, positivity and optimism, and it makes people's day, you know, seeing when you comment like a nice little note. I kind of like to think that if, you know, you want to comment something, if it's not nice or helpful, maybe don't comment it, just because, you know, we don't have to say everything that's on our mind. It's okay to keep some things inside. It's important to not only just come off as a nice person, but also be aware of your digital footprint, and how it could affect you and your business later on, in both good and bad ways. So just be aware of what you're posting out there. And it goes for both public and private remarks, just because, you know, we live in a digital age now where screenshots are a thing. And if you say something that's not super nice in a text or a direct message, it's super easy just to screenshot it, post it online and be like, hey, don't work with this person because they were super mean and blah, blah, blah. And like, there's people out there that will do that. So just be aware of how you're coming off to people, and, you know, just be nice, be helpful. That's what we're here for. We want to help people buy and sell and live their best lives. So just, you know, don't assume that anything you post will ever stay private as soon as you post it online. Basically just think it's out there for everyone. Not to scare you, but, you know, just be aware. It's also easy to kind of overthink about what you want to post on here. So I think the important thing to just keep in mind is have that unique voice and keep consistent with your brand when you're commenting. So if maybe it's like a family member, a close friend, with that one, you might put like a more personalized message. Whereas if it's someone that maybe you met at an event and you guys exchange social media, you might just put a nice thing, like maybe they put a picture of their dog and you could put, I don't know, oh my God, what a cute dog, and like little emojis or something, like just something simple and nice and fun. Just again, kind of like with the likes, it'll give them that notification saying that you commented. So now they know that you're thinking of them and now you like their dog. That's going to make them like you way more, you know? So just little things, you know, it doesn't have to be anything super, super personalized if you don't know them that well. And it doesn't have to be super long either. I feel like a sentence or like a few words are just as impactful sometimes. So kind of thinking about that, does anyone have an example of a comment that you've received before that just made you feel good? It could be anything. It could be like the dog example. Just one. No comments?
Sometimes when I make a post about, for example, the nature or a beautiful sunset, and people say that it is beautiful, I want to be there, or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's nice because it makes you think, you know, they took the time out of their day, even if it's a few seconds, you know, they took the time to stop and comment something on your picture. So it's just good to think about that. If we feel nice when people comment on ours, imagine how we make other people feel as well. And then we're on to the last part of the engagement system, which is the one share, direct message, or original post. I would also kind of count a text maybe in here. Maybe not, but anyways, you want to make sure you do at least one original post, share someone else's post, or direct message someone. So when you share someone else's post, maybe they're posting about like a community event that's coming up, or a fundraiser, or even just like a quote that really resonated. You know, think about the uniqueness again that you want to bring to other people's feeds. So if I, let's say, Joanna, you posted the sunset picture, right? If I go and I share that onto my feed, I might want to capture or write like a little caption saying, kind of like, oh, what you said, what a beautiful sunset. And then maybe I'll put even the location tag so people know where it's at. Or maybe Stacy has like a new listing and I go and I share that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like maybe it's in my neighborhood, we'll say. So I post it to my page and I say, oh my gosh, this is in my neighborhood, come be my neighbor, you know, just something like fun. So it's taking someone else's post and in a way kind of making it your own because you're adding like a little bit to it. But it's easier than you having to go and make an original post. So it's just another way, if you're not someone that loves to post all the time, to still get engagement and still be active on social media just by sharing. There's actually a term in digital marketing, it's called UGC, which stands for user generated content. And it's a way that brands kind of share their followers' content on their own pages. So you might see, I know like Nike's big, for example. They have tons of influencers. Some of them they pay, other people they just post about Nike because they love Nike. So what Nike does is they'll go and, I mean, I'm thinking I haven't actually seen their page right now, but there's a lot of brands that do this. They'll go and let's say I posted a picture about this new pair of Nike shoes I bought. If I post it and I tag Nike, chances are they're at least gonna like or comment on my post, if not share it on their own post as well. A great way is through like giveaways, for example. If I tell people, hey, here's a postcard. If you received a postcard from me in the mail, take a picture of it, send it to me, and I'll add you in like this raffle I'm doing for I don't know, $100 gift card, something like that. It's a great way to basically have people give you content to post without you having to do the work of making that content. So again, if you have like an event, for example, you have people come to the event, be like, hey, I want you guys to take pictures at my event, tag me in it, post it on your Instagram, Facebook, put it on your story, whatever, just tag me in it. And I'd love to see that. You don't even have to make it a giveaway or anything. Just tell people like, hey, I'd love if you could like tag me on social media and blah, blah, blah. Because people love to post regardless. So if you ask them that little favor, of course, they're going to be happy to do it, especially if they loved your event or if they went to like your open house, something like that. It's just good to be compliant as well. So if you're going to do like a giveaway, raffle, contest, whatever, just make sure you're staying compliant. And if you have any questions, I would ask your PBs just because I'm not the most compliant brained individual. So if you have any questions, totally feel free to ask our managing brokers. So yeah, there's that. The other option, instead of just sharing, is to do the direct message. So it's kind of, even though it's not that different, for some reason it feels different when you comment publicly on a post versus if I were to send you a direct message. Even if I just, send that post to you and direct message on there, it feels like a little bit more personable. Maybe just because it's like away from the public eye and it's more private, but it's good to do that just to let people know that, you really wanted them to see your message. Or maybe in the DMs, it's a lot easier to be more personable and like be a little bit, type a little bit more instead of just doing like a public comment. I know one is if someone posts it's like a birthday, you can always just post like, oh, happy birthday. But if you want to go like that extra little mile, sending them a DM, or here's where like the text kind of comes in. You can always send them a text as well. Just saying like, hey, like I saw your post on Instagram or whatever. I just want to wish you happy birthday. Just want to see maybe when we can meet up and do something, take you out to dinner or something, it just gives you that extra little bit of a touch. And then just make sure that when we're talking about original posts, so that's the last part of this one, being intentional about what types of content you're putting out, and then following the 80-20 rule, which we're going to go about in a bit. But just, yeah, you want something that is going to be valuable to people, that they're going to find interest in it. Even if, you might not think it's super valuable, just posting about like maybe what you're doing today, just like a little update or a market update. To you, it might not seem like the most exciting thing, but to the people who aren't working in real estate, to them, it's like brand new news. So even if you just want to do like a little market update snapshot, Area Pro would be a great tool for this. So as part of our network, you actually get Area Pro. So just going on there, screenshotting, or you can make even a little graphic with the information from there if you want to get a little bit more fancy. And just, yeah, sending a little highlight thing. And we'll go into, yeah, the 80-20 rule next. So just bring things to people that they don't already know, or even if, people love when you share a selfie, even if that, I feel like for some reason selfies are always like one of the highest liked and like commented pictures I see on people's feeds. So if you have nothing else to post, just be like, oh, here's me at like an open house. You're going to get likes and comments, I guarantee you. So just think of that. If there's nothing else you can do, you can always post a selfie or even a group picture. Those are always fun too. So next, I think we're going to go over some ahas first before we get into the next part. So I would love if at least 2 of you guys could share maybe one aha that maybe you already knew something about it, but it kind of made you think in a different way, or something brand new that you haven't heard of until now. maybe Young Suk, if you want to participate. You might be busy. Okay, does anyone else want to share one?
Do you mean like an aha moment that we've learned about social media in general, or for my business, using hashtags helped a lot. And I don't know if that matters here, but it upped my posts a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't think we're talk about hashtags much. This is kind of like just an intro to social media, but hashtags are definitely great. You know, it's, I think even now on Instagram, at least, not sure about Facebook, but on Instagram, you can actually follow hashtags as well. So there's people that maybe they don't follow you, but they're following a certain hashtag. So if they're following that hashtag and you have posts with said hashtag, that's going to pop up on their feed just because they're following the hashtag. So that's actually a great way to help you get a little bit more exposure out there. And with that, you probably want to do like some keyword research. So thinking about like what hashtags are really popular related to real estate. Because maybe just the real estate hashtag alone, there's tons and tons of people who are, you know, flooding content into there. So maybe just being a little bit more specific, especially if you have a certain niche, being a little bit more specific with those hashtags can help you find the people you're trying to reach. So thank you. So with that, we're going to go into posting practice. All right. So here we have the 80-20 posting practice. Basically just means that, as you can see on the slide, 80% of your posting should be a personal post, so something about you. Whereas 20% of that you're going to want to have as a business post. So that kind of equates to 1 out of every 5 posts should be about your business. So the other 4 should be about you personally.
Sorry, I missed all that. Am I supposed to see
Okay.
something in that square part?
Which part?
It says you're viewing Adriana's screen, but it's just black.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sorry, I said I could see it
Oh,
earlier.
no
I
worries.
could just see the square. I don't know if I messed you up.
Okay, but you guys could see it earlier, right?
No, I don't know if they could.
Oh, you couldn't see the slides at all?
No, I didn't even know they're supposed to be this whole time. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, no worries. Let's see if I can get this going. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Well, thank you guys for sitting so diligently. Just watching me talk.
It's totally my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, is it sharing now? Can you
Oh,
see the, okay.
yeah, I still just see the screen. Maybe my computer's too outdated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a green square around a blackness.
Okay, does it show now for you?
It's got to be the super cheap computer. It's probably causing issues.
Okay, well, I'm
I'll try to
sorry.
figure out my next class. But thank you. What was the 80-20 again? Sorry.
I can see it just
Okay.
fine in case you want to know. I mean, I can see it, so it's not like it's not working.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's my computer. Okay, cool.
Okay, no worries. If you have the participant packet, it has like most of the info on there. Honestly, the slides don't have a ton of stuff anyways. It's mostly me talking anyways. So yeah, but if not, I can have Mara send you the slides after, just if you want to kind of look at them. All right, but thanks for letting me know. I wasn't sure. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go into 80-20. Again, just out of every 5 posts, you want 1 to be business and you want the other 4 to be personal. That doesn't mean like you have to do that exact pattern, but just, you know, think about it when you're posting. And can I get someone to answer maybe why that could be important? What's the point of even dividing between personal and business?
I know with my business, people start unfollowing if it just looks like it's constant advertising, because then you're just following advertising.
Exactly. Yep. I'm sure we follow even like brands or companies on social media. And sometimes it's fun because like I'm trying to think of one. I'll use a Nike example again, for example. if I follow them because I want to know more about a specific product line they have coming out or something, as soon as they only post things about other products that I don't really care about, it's like, oh, what's the point? Like, I don't really need them on my feed anymore. But if they're posting like, maybe they're doing like personal little stories about like upcoming athletes or something. Maybe they're talking about events that are also coming out. Or they're showing just like a little clip of the people at the Nike office, like working or going out, doing even like a run or something. I don't know. It makes it a little bit more interesting to where, kind of like you said, Phoenix, it's not all just advertising. They're telling a story. So you kind of want to do that and think about that through your posts, because that's what's really going to get people to connect with you, is what kind of story are you telling? What brand are you showing to them? You want to make sure that you're creating authenticity, because, you know, we're all human. You don't want them to think of you as just this salesy person that only wants to help people buy and sell houses because all they care about is the commission. You know, not saying that's horrible. If that's you, that's great. But, you know, people want to feel like they're being helped by someone and that these people care for them. Because, you know, this is a huge milestone for most people, is buying or selling their first home, their second, third, any home. That it's a huge, you know, decision to go through. And they're going to want someone who they can trust has their best interests in mind. So if all you're posting again is like business stuff, you're going to come off as that salesy real estate agent that no one wants to work with. You want to make sure that you're posting about your cat, you're posting about the book you're reading. Maybe you're posting about, I don't know, like a new cafe you went and visited. It doesn't have to be something that's like super personal to yourself. I know some people have like a hard time posting about things that are going on in their life, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be something just you checked out a new, like I said, a new cafe that just opened, and you're just letting people know, hey, like this was really good, or just a picture of your food, you know, something like that.
Adriana, I have a
Yeah.
question about that,
Mhm.
because I have my business account and my
Mhm.
personal account. Okay, I have to make my personal post in my personal account, or in my professional account, I can make a photo of my dog, for example.
Yeah, I would do a little bit of both. I would keep, if you have just the personal one, I would keep that completely personal. I wouldn't post well, maybe like a business post every so often, but in not of like be strategic about it. Like if you're going to post a business post on your only personal one, that's where I would put like a picture of yourself at an open house. Like everything you do, post it like of you, not just like the sign itself. Whereas on the business account, I would post the picture of just the sign by itself. You could still post a picture of your dog and everything, but
I can
kind of
make a
mix
mix.
it on the business one. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's really up to you. Because some people, they like to have that separate. Other people, they just have one and they just kind of mix it like this. But yeah, it's really up to you. I would post though a little bit of each on both. But maybe if it's your personal one, if you don't want to post too much businessy stuff, that should be fine too. But just make sure for sure that the business account has some personal things in there, because otherwise it will come off too salesy and it's a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
But that works too, especially if you have like the private personal one. If you're like a little bit more of a private person, and that's the one where maybe you only have your close friends and family. And that's the one where you're like updating them. Whereas the business one, you can have public, and that one you can post about your dog, about the cafe, but you don't have to be posting about maybe something hard you're going through. So just thinking about that, making sure at least the business account has a good mix of personal and business. All right, so we're gonna go into the 80%. So we kind of touched on it a little bit already, but 80% is going to be your personal interests posts. So you kind of want to post about, again, what you're reading, maybe where you're traveling, any favorite foods or activities you do. Maybe I feel like hiking is really popular here. maybe you tried a new trail, you just want to post a picture of the trail, put a little like pin about where it is. So that way if people ever come across that and they're like, oh, I've been wanting to hike too, they can go ahead, like that picture, click on it. It'll take them to the Google Maps or whatever to take them there. And it just kind of lets people know a little like glimpse into your life. Especially if you are posting these business things, like they know you're a real estate agent and they want to see the human side of you as well. They don't just want to see purely business. It helps them to really connect with you. And you could even make it part of your brand. You know, if I'm trying to think of things. Maybe volunteering is really big in your life and it's something you're really passionate about. A way to kind of mix a personal and a business thing is if maybe you're doing a donation to a volunteer organization that you already work with and you sponsor maybe like a snack stand or something for an event they're having. That's something that it's still showing you as a person, it's showing your interest, it's showing your passion, but you're also promoting your business at the same time because it's something that they're going to probably post your logo or at least your name and your info on there if you're going to sponsor something for them. And that's a great way to post on social media and be like, oh my gosh, like I love this organization, blah, blah, blah. And it has your little setup. So just kind of thinking about that. And here too, we can see we have some bullet points. You can post about your pets. Maybe you make art or some crafts, or if you're into cooking, baking recipes, just sharing things with people so that they kind of see what you like, what you're interested in, and it gives them ideas too. And guess what? All these things, they just become talking points. So that helps you build that relationship further with them. That way they feel more comfortable with you. And if they know you better, chances are, if it comes to that point in their life, or if they know someone already in their life that is looking to buy or sell, if they have that relationship with you, it's so much easier just to be like, oh, I'm just going to go with Phoenix because I've already talked to her about like all these things. So it makes it easier just to go straight to you rather than go and find another realtor that they know nothing about. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do a quick little activity. I'm going to give you guys, I'll say like 3 minutes. That way it's like at 2. But just come up with a list of 5 things that you're passionate about and kind of use those doors as, or those interests as doorways into what your brand is and how you want to portray that. So think about, again, just a list of like 5 things that you have, 5 interests. It could be some things that are like on this list. So like pets, live music, team sports, things like that. But just a list of 5 things that you are interested in that you could possibly make a social media post about. So I'll give you till 2. So I guess 2 minutes now. Okay. It's 2. Was that enough time? You just give me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now you probably know what I'm gonna ask. Does anyone want to share? Just give me at least one interest that you have on your list that you could probably make a social media post about.
In my case,
I had sports, music, comedy, family, and empowerment.
Ooh, I like that. See, that already tells me more about you because now I know like some things that you're interested in. Right, Joanna, I think you're gonna say something.
yes, soccer. I don't practice soccer, but my son practice soccer a lot, and I have to go to the trainings, and I got to go to the fields on the weekends. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It helps, you know, again, posting something about your life. You might meet other people that have kids in soccer or kids that are interested in soccer, and they can be like, "Hey, Joanna, I saw you posted about your son at soccer. I have my child too who's interested. Where do you go?" And that again opens up a door just for people to connect and build that relationship with you. So thanks, guys. I'll share mine too, just because if I feel like I made you guys do it, I'll share mine as well. But mine, I put travel, I put concerts, volunteering, I put my cats, and astrology, just because they're things I enjoy and think are fun. So it's a good way to just post things. It doesn't have to be hard work posting on social media. It can be fun too. So just remember that it's meant to be fun. So here we're going to go into the 20% side of the 80-20 principle. And now we're going to talk about business. So the 20% of your posts can be self-promotion or posts specifically about your business. So it could be things like you have a new listing, you have an open house, maybe you just won an award. You know, we have our awards celebrations coming up for each of our market centers this month. So that's a great time if you're attending the awards, you know, post pictures of awards you got. Even you, just a picture of you at the award ceremony. It's a great excuse, you know, to dress up and like be with other agents. Take pictures with them. They'll post it on theirs, you tag them, things like that. You know, a lot of social media too is not just, you know, how many likes and comments you get specifically on your posts, but using tags, using hashtags. Basically, if you really think about it, the social media platforms, they want you to use the social media platforms. So the more you actually use it, the more they're kind of pretty much reward you. So if you're on there, you're posting regularly, you're commenting, you're liking, you're tagging other people in your posts, you're following people, things like that. Chances are, if you're using their platform, they want you to keep using it. So they're going to reward you by maybe helping you show up on other people's feeds that you don't already. Or if you, I know you see under, you know, when you like follow someone, it'll say like, oh, you should also follow these people, or you might know these people. That's another way too. If you're tagging people that you already follow, or maybe you don't even follow them yet, but you're tagging them, it's going to share your information to people who follow that person. Because if they know that person and you're tagged in a picture with them, chances are you might run in the same circle. Or if you don't, maybe you should know that person and they're going to recommend you them anyways. So just kind of thinking about it that way as well. You can even post maybe like an inspirational quote. I know we had the one by Gary Keller earlier in the lesson. He has so many quotes. It's so easy to just kind of like pick one and go with it. And like, oh, it's a business post, but it's also like uplifting and encouragement. And kind of like Stacy said, it's empowering, you know, it makes you want to go out and do things. It doesn't necessarily have to relate to real estate specifically. People can read that quote and it can still resonate with them in a different way. So just kind of thinking about that, what types of business posts that you can put out to help, you know, increase your engagement and also just keep people wanting to follow you. You don't, again, want to come off as like overly salesy. That's why we want to mix the personal with the business. But the business ones as well, we want to be purposeful. We don't just want to post, you know, every single post we do, hey, I'm a real estate agent, buy or sell with me. If that's all you're doing for your business post, like that's no fun either. So just kind of vary that. We have on the slide here, we have listings, open houses, kind of spoke about awards, or even speaking events. If you're, again, doing like a class, like a seminar, or maybe you're doing an appreciation event of your own for your clients, that counts as a business post. So just sharing, what you're doing in your business. I know I have some ideas too that I wrote. One of them I put is Red Day. Not sure if you guys are familiar, but Keller Williams has this day called Red Day that we do every year. So it's a day of basic community service. All KWs are closed and we all go out and we work on a community service project in our community. So that's kind of almost like a 2-for-1 if you think about it, because it's definitely a business one because you're going with KW, but it's also kind of like a personal one almost in a way, because it's something, especially if you're passionate about volunteering in general. It's a community service project. So that's something that it gives you another reason to post. Just, hey, I'm out here like helping our community. Also, I work at KW, we always post things on our social medias too. So each market center will post something. If you don't want to post something yourself, all you have to do is share that. Super easy. You can just share it. I've had people, I know when I first started and I did that I think our Red Day was like maybe a month after I had first joined. And I posted on the Market Center page, and then I shared it on my personal social media. And I had people reaching out like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you worked like in real estate and stuff. And even though I'm not licensed, I just told people, oh yeah, like I work at Keller Williams, like, and that whole thing. But it opened up like so many conversations for me of people that I hadn't talked to in like forever. But just the fact that like I shared a post that was made, it made that many more people want to just reach out to me. There's also, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's like a lot of day in the life of, a certain career or whatever. So you could do like a day in the life of a realtor one. I think that would be fun. Just posting kind of, you going to like a showing or an inspection. Maybe you're putting a lockbox on a door, things that don't seem exciting to you, but it's exciting to people that have no idea what real estate is about. A lot of people, I don't know if you guys seen it, but there's shows like Selling Sunset and stuff like that. And like, I love drama TV, but I feel like that has no actual representation of what real estate is like. So a lot of people probably think that's what real estate is, or maybe they think it's like House Hunters. I feel like that's an older show, but that's literally their introduction to like what real estate is about. So if you're out here showing, the hard work you guys are putting in, it could be the most mundane thing, like sitting at an inspection. Doesn't seem fun for you, but guess what? There's someone out there who doesn't know that you do these types of tasks, that you do these things. It's really almost showing your value, how much work you're putting into all of this, just to help your clients get the best deal and live in their dream homes. So you want to make sure you kind of do things like that as well. I know there's even title companies who have like a lot of social media post ideas. So if you have any title reps, you should totally ask them, hey, like, do you guys have any social media? Some of them even have graphics already. So you can ask for graphics, you can ask for ideas. I've seen one, I think it's like a realtor social media challenge, and it's like a 30-day, almost like a calendar. And they have like an idea for each day that you can go and post. So it just gives you more content ideas. I know Pinterest is another one that I'm sure you could find a ton of info on, or even just Googling it. Another great one too is, looking on social media, on the platforms you want to be on, and following other real estate agents that you really like their feed, that you feel like what they're posting is valuable or informative, or just pleasant to look at. Find people that you can kind of like role model off of. The cool thing is that with real estate, you're all independent business contractors. So if I really like what, if I really like what Stacy is posting, I can just copy it and putting it on mine. There's nothing really wrong with that. If I see her posting like market stats and then maybe a picture with her listing sign, I can do that on there as well. I can take inspo and make it my own. So it's really easy. and just kind of fun to see what other people are doing and see how you can kind of make it your own and add it on your own page. So now I know it said 80-20, but we're going to go obviously over 100%. So if you want to give 110% and be the real estate expert of choice, you want to consider adding 10% community service type of posts. So this kind of falls in line with the Red Day one I was saying as well. But also just thinking about, like public service announcements, thinking about what do people in your community and database specifically, what information do they need? You want to be active in your community and inform your connections of important public service updates. It's a great way to be of service to many, many people at once. So things like property tax increases, if there's like school closures coming up, maybe food banks or animal shelters in need. I know, especially in times of like challenge or like crisis, agents can be members of their community and be like a really bright source. So I know, I think it was last year, we had kind of like a bit of a ice storm. Everything was like frozen. A lot of people lost power and heat as well. So I know we personally at our market center had some agents that were out there and they were, reaching out to the database and like, hey, are you okay? Can I help you like with anything? Some of the agents that had like bigger trucks or maybe like snow chains, things like that, that they were able to leave their house and help people. They were out there like bringing heaters, bringing blankets. I know some people even like were contacting shelters and things like that, or like helping people find resources so that in this time of need, they could get help. And that's something that you're not necessarily doing it with the intention of, oh, this is going to get me business. It's something that you're doing out of your own heart, but the result is hopefully you will get business from that, because these people are going to, again, build that relationship with you. They're going to feel so much closer to you because you helped them in a time of need. So chances are they're going to want to repay that to you too. And if it means that they're looking for someone to help them buy or sell a property, a lot more likely that they're going to reach out to you because you already helped them once and you proved to them that you actually genuinely care about them and you're not just doing this as for a commission check, So just a good way to be aware of that. And it doesn't have to be something like that extreme too. Like that is a lot. If you're not able to go out and like do that specifically, you can always just put links to resources, repost other helpful information. I know I mentioned like school closures, for example. If there is really bad weather and schools are closed, not everyone's going to know like right away. So even just reposting something from a school that maybe your kid goes to or that your kid used to go to, or maybe a school that you just went to yourself, something like that. Just in the area, posting that, hey, these schools are going to be closed this day or whatever. Or if, again, maybe it could be something even fun, like if there's a community event going on. I know during the holidays, there's always like a lot. So if you do, I'm trying to think of one here. I know there's like a Hillsborough lighting ceremony. That might be fun to just share with your community. Just say, hey, City of Hillsborough is putting this on. It's free this time, so on. I'll see you there. I'll be there, whatever. Just something to share about your community and show some value and kind of give back to the people in your community as well. I've also seen some people put kind of like home maintenance tips. I think that one's pretty fun. So again, especially when it comes to the colder months, just making sure like, hey, you're checking your, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's like things you do to like keep your home maintained. Probably like fall would be a little bit better. Do that before it gets really cold. Right now, maybe just telling people, hey, make sure that when it gets really, really cold that you're running your water. That way your pipes don't freeze, things like that. Just being a little helpful person and informing people, because a lot of times it's things that we already know, but you kind of forget anyways. So it's always good to just put that little reminder. But there we have the 80-20 plus the extra 10. So now we're gonna go over some ahas again. I'll take just one person this time. If someone wants to share an aha from this last part. Do we think this is something that we could implement or maybe think about when we're posting from now on? No. Okay, perfect. We'll take that. We'll go on to the next. All right. So we got 10.5.1 engagement system out of the way. We got our posting practice out of the way. Now we're going to move on to some social media strategies. So now that we know the numbers of how often we should be posting, along with the 80-20 practice, kind of helping us guide what type of posts we're making, we're going to look at some strategies to employ when you're increasing your engagement on social media. So if you're like most people and you use social media almost every day, you can kind of think about it as almost like a daily touch system, just depending how much you're using it already. So there's many different social media sites. We talked about Facebook, Instagram, we've mentioned TikTok, but there's also other ones like YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I feel like they're making more every single day. I think there was one called Blue Sky. I heard of it, but I don't even know what it's about. But again, each platform is different. So you're going to have different strategies for each one. Again, though, just because it's available doesn't mean you have to have an account on it. I want to stress this because there's so many. Don't stress yourself out. It's better to really focus on like one or maybe two platforms that you really enjoy using and it makes sense to you. And again, that the people you're trying to reach are using these two. That way you can just grow on those. Because if you spread yourself too thin, you're not going to get anywhere on any of the platforms. So I think just personally, Facebook and Instagram are probably your best bets. They're the easiest. You can post on one thing, it'll go out to both. It just makes your life so much easier. So I think that one's a great one. Or if you're someone who enjoys like making videos, maybe TikTok might be better for you. Maybe YouTube might be better for you. If you're someone who likes to like do educational videos, maybe you want to like teach and like talk and do things like that. Just thinking about what interests you already have and what platforms you like to use will help you decide which ones you're going to actually use. And you also got to think about, the difference between what is your favorite social media platform to find content. So me personally, I love TikTok, like just scrolling. It's super easy. I like watching little videos and they're short. So I don't have to like spend so much time. I used to really like watching YouTube videos, but now even sometimes I'm like, oh, it's kind of long. I just watch TikToks and just kind of scroll. So thinking about that, because your database is also going to be thinking about that. They're going to be on the platforms that they enjoy being on. And then also thinking about what's your favorite platform to actually post content. So even though I love using TikTok, I do not have a single post on TikTok because I do not care for posting videos, really. I feel like I'm more of like a picture person. So I love using TikTok, but I'm not really posting on there. But with Instagram, I'll go on Instagram too. And even though I prefer the video format of TikTok, I'll go on Instagram just because I enjoy posting on there. And I know more of my friends and family are on Instagram. So I'm more active on Instagram, even though I still like using TikTok. So it's kind of thinking about what are your consumers using? You want to be active on those spaces and thinking about, again, you want to reach them. You don't want them to have to come find you. So I have, we'll do one question. What ideas do you have for social media that work for you or that you've seen work? So maybe someone else has implemented it and you thought, hey, that's a great idea. It could be one that you post or maybe someone else says.
I used to post open houses and reply. For example, I made a post Wednesday and Friday and Saturday. I remember, hey, remember today is the open house.
And you think that worked?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree too. I think it's good, especially if it's something that's like a time sensitive or it's like a date. It's always good to post ahead of time, post a few days before, and then post day of, maybe like an hour or two before.
Yeah.
Because people are constantly needing reminders. We're all like that anyway, so it makes it so much easier if you just post something like right before, but also in advance. That's good. Thank you. And that's a great example too with the open house. Making sure that you're posting multiple. It's also good just, again, to connect with people you know or you've met. I feel like getting someone's social media info or account is a lot easier than straight out asking for their phone number or their email address. So if you're someone who's like a little bit more like, oh, I don't want to just like, hey, what's your phone number? Like you can always ask, oh my gosh, like let me follow you on Instagram, or like you should follow me, It's like, I don't know why, but it's just more like socially accepted now, I feel like. So it makes it like a little bit less of a barrier. So that's a good way just to help get people in your database. And then once you have them on social media, again, you're liking their pictures, you're commenting, you're DMing them. And eventually one day you're going to be like, oh, hey, I know we talked about, I don't know, maybe you're interested in buying or selling. Give me your email so I can like send you this information that I have or whatever. And it makes that so much easier than just straight out going to a stranger and being like, what's your phone number and your email? So just kind of using it in that way. It's also great to post about your neighborhood. Or if you don't want to post specifically about your neighborhood, you can post in the area that you want to work in. So think about, if you really want to work in a certain area, you're going to want to make posts about that certain area. So that way, when people are on your page and they're like, oh, she's posting about my city, I live here, or maybe I want to move to that city. I'm going to assume if you're posting about it, I'm going to assume that you probably know about the city. You're familiar with the area. You know what you're talking about, So it makes me, as a consumer, feel like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. We also want to use images. Most of these social media platforms are very image heavy. It's kind of the whole point. You post an image or a video, and then you add like a caption as like a secondary thing. So make sure you're using those images. Even if it's, again, just a selfie or something like fun, maybe you went on a trip, you can post the sunset pic, post a pic of your dog sleeping, things like that. Just people really resonate with images. It's so much easier to look at a picture than it is to read a whole flyer, So much easier to watch a video than it is to read a book sometimes. So just kind of think about that. If people are on social media, they're not doing it to do it they don't like want to work. A lot of people use social media as like a break or almost even like an escape. So if you're posting things that they find easy to look at, chances are they're going to spend more time. I also love seeing the like congratulating new homeowners posts. So you'll see people that sometimes like title companies have like those big keys, or like even I've seen some people just stand by like the listing sign and they put like a just sold, something like that. I think that's always so cute and so fun. Obviously, you want their permission to post on your page. But even if you can't post it, it's always just a nice touch saying like, oh my gosh, like let me take this picture for you guys so you guys can post it on your social media or share it with your family. It's just a nice touch. People love seeing pictures. Also about listings, you can post about upcoming listings you have, or if you don't have any at the moment, you can always post listings from other agents and just say, hey, like this is a great home in this area. Let me know if you want to come see it, come check it out. We can schedule like a showing or something. So that's kind of, using other people's posts as well.
I heard one time somebody posted like every week they would post a house of the week. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
have it yet because they were new, but they went and looked in their favorite house of the week and they would just post that. So every week people got used to looking for the
Mhm.
house of the week.
I love that. That's a great idea. I feel like it makes it fun too, because if you're seeing like all these really nice houses or maybe like houses that have like a really unique thing about them, it makes it so much fun. And again, it gives you content, kind of like you were saying, Stacey, especially if you're new, just starting out. That's a great thing. You can also do just new listings in the neighborhood. I know at Sunset, I've started trying to make like new listings of the week. So I'll post those, and some of our agents, if it's their listing, they'll repost it. But I've also seen some newer agents too that they'll go and they'll post like, oh my gosh, look how beautiful this house is. Like, let me know if you want to come see it. So just make it easy for yourself. Use other people's content, share it. It makes everybody happy. And then also, again, just engage. We've talked about the 10-5-1 already. So it's not just, posting and liking other people's and commenting on theirs. It's about replying to comments as well. So if people are commenting on you, on your posts, you want to make sure that you reply to those. It doesn't, again, have to be like a super long reply. It could be like, oh, a thank you, or like, we should meet up soon, or, just something nice that shows people that you're seeing what they're commenting on your page. All right, we will go to the next slide. So now we're going to talk about how to kind of highlight your business. Think about, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like think about hyper local information. So where do you want to be doing business? You want to be posting about that area. That way people know to go to you as kind of like the expert of that area. You want to kind of talk about, market trends that's happening in that area. Position yourself as an expert while again providing valuable information to your audience. I kind of mentioned Area Pro earlier. I think this would be a really great use of it. Again, just pull up some information on a few cities around you, or maybe like a county. You can do a screenshot just of that, or if you want to go the extra mile, make a little graphic on. There's Command Designs. You can use Canva. There's Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. Just plug that information into like a little graphic that you can post. You can also utilize more tech developments. So we have Area Pro. There's also the KW Consumer app. That one's really easy to just share with people and have them go and like, or, they can save houses on there too. There's also the KW Agent site. So with that one, there's like always a new upgrade coming. They have a home equity calculator, so you can have someone in your database go fill that out with their address, and it's going to give them kind of like an estimated how much is their home worth. Or no, sorry, that's the home valuation tool. There is a home equity calculator too, and that one will tell them kind of like how much still they have left equity wise. There's also a mortgage calculator. So if they're interested in buying, they can kind of use that tool just to give them like a really rough estimate of maybe how much it would cost for them. You can add preferred vendors on there. So if you work with some vendors that you really enjoy and you think they're really great, you can just post them on your website. That way, if anyone ever asks you, hey, like I have this plumbing issue, do you know anyone? You can be like, yeah, here's my website. This is my favorite plumber, whatever. Just gives you more tools and ways to kind of provide value to your database. Plus, if they're going on your website, that's helping your search rankings too. That's always good. We want people to use the websites. Yeah. And then lastly, don't forget to post client testimonials. It's really good for you. Word of mouth recommendations in real estate carry really heavy weight. If someone's telling you, hey, I worked with Joanna the other day and she helped me through the whole closing process. Everything was great. I loved her. We love our new house, everything. If my sister decides she wants to move here, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, you should work with Joanna because I worked with her and it was just like the best process ever. I can introduce you to her, whatever. Like that holds so much more weight than if I were just to see like a business card of Joanna. She just like, we were walking around, she gave me a business card. Okay, here. I'd be like, oh, great. But if I've actually worked with her and I can recommend her to someone, like that person, most likely, if they love and trust me, they're going to probably feel good going with Joanna. So it's just something to think about. Don't be afraid to be posting your comment or your testimonials and your reviews. They're going to be good, hopefully, if you're doing your job well. So it's just a way to kind of further, what's it called? Like further back up what a great agent you are. It's also great for, again, getting referrals, building that authenticity, showing that, you know, you care about what you're doing, you care about your clients, and you want to help them have the smoothest process. It's, you know, I think the hardest part here, it's not so much about posting the testimonial, it's more so asking for the testimonial. With that, I think it's just about being consistent. You know, you want to consistently ask them throughout the process. Just be like, hey, by the way, I'd love if you could leave a review on my Google page or on my agent website. You know, it'd really help me out. Things like that. People are generally very nice and they want to help other people out. So I think if you're putting yourself out there, people are a lot more likely to be like, yeah, of course. Whereas if you never mention it, they're never going to give you a review. Like it's super rare. Unless it's like a bad situation, then people are always, for some reason, more likely to leave a negative review without being asked than they are a positive review. So if you want those positive reviews, you just have to ask. Just ask throughout, especially at the end, obviously. Maybe if you even do like a closing gift, you can add like a little note in there and be like, I loved working with you. If you loved working with me too, please leave a review. It'd make me so happy, make my day. Just things like that. There's also, I know I talked about like the Google reviews. If you have what's called a Google My Business, that's the part on Google where like if someone searches, let's say you search like a coffee shop, it'll pop up on the side with like a little picture of the coffee shop and it'll have like the address, it'll have time, all the reviews on there. That's a Google My Business posting. So if you make that, it's really easy to just tell people, hey, just like search me up on Google and leave a review. And then from those, you could add it to your agent site, or you could just leave the Google reviews and keep it as that. But it's easy to, you know, ask previous clients, or if you're just starting off and you don't really have any clients yet, I would ask close family and friends or past employers. They don't have to, I'm not telling you to like have them lie and say like, oh my God, she helped me like buy a house if you haven't done it yet. But they know a lot about your character and your work ethic and your integrity and things like that. So just having them go, like I used to work in escrow, so they can just say like, oh yeah, Adriana was very organized and always checked in and things like that, you know, like qualities that you would want as a real estate agent, just have them talk about that. They don't have to talk about specifically that, you know, they haven't worked with you to buy or sell. They can just say, yeah, like we work together and she's really good at these 5 qualities. You just want something out there to get it started. Just don't have people lie for you. Have them tell the truth, but you know, it doesn't have to be real estate related. Another thing too, we kind of talked about already, just having clients who are happy at the end, you know, take a picture with the key, post that. That's a great way to highlight your business in kind of a client testimonial way, because chances are if they loved you, they're going to want you to post their picture, unless they're shy, you know. But that's also a great way to see, because if someone's smiling with the picture with your sign, chances are they really enjoyed working with you. So now we're going to go on to don't post and ghost. It's important to make sure, you know, you don't post and ghost. Don't just post something and never check in again, you know. if someone else took the time to comment on your post, you want to make sure that you take the time to reply, or at least like it or send them a little message back. And if it's like a long comment, for example, maybe consider sending them a direct message or like a text on the side, like, hey, I saw that you posted this. I just wanted to like reach out to you personally, so on. This is more not even just like a nice thing, it's also kind of an algorithm thing. So with Instagram and Facebook, if they see you and your post being interacted with a lot, they're gonna probably show your post to more people. If they see that a lot of people are going and they're liking and commenting and you're replying and they're replying back and you're having like conversations, and basically if a lot of people are interacting with your post, they're gonna think, oh, because it's a computer, remember, this is an algorithm. The algorithm is gonna think like, oh, well, if this post is really popular, I should probably share it with more people because then more people are gonna interact. And you know, we would like to think they're doing it to help us, but in reality, the algorithm is just, it's helping the platform itself. If it's seeing that a lot of people are interested in this post, they're going to think, let me open it up to more people so that more people can like and comment and stay on our platform. So that's kind of almost in a way of how things kind of go viral, is if you have a lot of people initially that are commenting and liking and posting and everything, they're going to promote that a lot more. And that's how things kind of like just take off. It's also good to, you know, just be a nice person. Make sure you don't post and ghost. You don't have to like wait every second. As soon as like a comment comes in, you don't have to reply like immediately. You can wait a bit, but just make sure you reply. Great posts, again, they're going to lead to like a steady stream of engagement. Especially now with, I think most algorithms, I don't think they're chronological order anymore. So that kind of makes things a little bit harder than it used to, just because you don't know if your post is actually going to show up on someone's feed. That's why you want people to be liking and commenting. And that's probably why sometimes you get those staggered likes and posts, or likes and comments. You might have like a few people initially, like maybe within the hour that you posted, but you might get another person that likes your comments the next day or the day after. These chances are that it's barely popping up on their screen at that time. But that's not like the worst thing, because if people are consistently engaging with it, so like if it takes a few days for people to like and comment, it's still getting engagement on your page. And the more that, you know, you engage with other people on the platforms, the more that they're likely to engage with yours. So I kind of think it's great to set a time, maybe each day, to go through like your 10-5-1, but also go back and respond to those comments. You know, check in, maybe you could do like an hour after, or if you post in the morning, you can do like end of day. It doesn't have to be, again, like right after, because you might feel like overwhelmed if you have like a lot of comments coming in. It's easier to just kind of block out a little bit of time and knock those out. All right. Does anyone want to answer why it's important to acknowledge when someone else comments or likes on your posts? Why shouldn't we post and ghost?
When someone goes out of their way to write something, it makes them feel unimportant when they don't get any kind of response back.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one. Because if you're gonna go ahead and like post something, especially if it's like a question or like something that you need more information on, and someone just like totally ignores it, they never answer, it's like, oh, okay. So it kind of hurts. But if it's something like, oh my gosh, like if it's a picture of my dog and you comment like, oh, cute dog, like I don't have to reply, but I should at least like maybe like the comment, or you can like, there's like reactions you can do, you know, that's at least like a little nicety thing. Even if you don't know what you could say, just showing that you saw it and that you reacted to that comment. Because people love acknowledgement. Again, they're going to get that notification that you liked the comment that they left, and they're like, oh, they saw it, great. because you can't always tell if someone saw your comment or not unless they reply or acknowledge it somehow. Let's go. Thank you. So now we're gonna go to add value. With this one, when you navigate the online world, it's important to find communities where you can add value. So you want to participate in online communities where you can offer unique and valuable perspective. Facebook is a really big one for this. There's the Facebook groups on there, super easy. I think you just find groups just by searching like a keyword of something you're interested in. And, you know, finding the right communities might take some time, but that time to find them is worth the investment, especially if you're working with like a particular niche. Kind of think about, you know, what online communities you're already a part of, or even what communities you're a part of in person. Chances are they have an online version as well, somewhere where they can like keep connected. Some examples I put, I volunteer with Girl Scouts a lot. So there's a Girl Scout parent email distribution group. It's not necessarily like a social media group, but it's an email group where all the parents can communicate and keep on top of things and make sure that, you know, meeting information is shared, important dates are shared, things like that. There's also a ton of real estate groups if you are using like Facebook groups. I always see like the new to Hillsborough or new to this city post. That would be a great one just to see what people in the area are interested in, what they're doing, what upcoming events are going on. Gives you ideas, you know, where should I be going to meet new people? You could even make your own Facebook group if you really want. Just add your database to it and invite people to it. Just be like, hey, like this is my real estate thing. That's where you could put market updates every week. Make something like consistent that people can always follow and they can always think. And like how Stacy mentioned earlier with the listing of the week, you can have a constant listing of the week in the Google group just so people have something to look forward to and they know. It's just like another way to basically reach people and provide value. So now, I think we'll go to the next one. It says activity. We're just gonna maybe brainstorm together something that we can post. So we're gonna come up with kind of like an example social media post and just see what we've talked about today, how that can help inform an upcoming social media post. So let's see. First off, do we want to go like a business or a personal one? We can all kind of do this together.
Do a business one because I think we've all posted personal before, but business we're still getting used to.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so we'll do a business one. Let's see, does anyone have like an idea that they want to go off of? And we talked about like market overview. I like the listing of the week.
Market overview would be great.
Market overview. Okay. So with that one, I think you can always check, you know, your local MLS, get information from there. Like I mentioned, we have Area Pro with Experience Brokerage Network. That's a super great tool. If you don't have access to Area Pro yet, just reach out to your Market Center tech trainer in your office, and we can help you get set up with that. But Area Pro is literally a market overview report platform. So you can search like a city or a county, find your info on there. Let's say we do like how many new listings there were. Maybe we do like a monthly post. We can do a monthly one. How many new listings were this month? How many were sold this month? What was the average price that you know, sold this month? And then what's like another, you can add like another stat that people are really interested in.
Real estate rate.
There you go.
Could we add like Keller Williams stats? Like our branch closed this many houses that month or something?
Yeah, you can do that too if you want to get like really specific. That's good as well. You'll probably have higher numbers if you do overall, like the whole city or county. But I think just market center stuff is cool too. So that'd be good information. And you want to make sure it's something that like people know what these stats are. You don't want to do like a stat that only you would really know, or that like you kind of have to know real estate to understand what that is. You want to like do the easy ones. Like people know how many houses close, like what that means. They're gonna know like what the average price of a house. They're gonna know what that means. So just being, intentional about like the type of information, and also you don't want to overburden them with like too much information. You kind of almost want to give them like a teaser. That way, if they want more info, they actually reach out to you. So you can do like the big highlight ones and then just add in your caption like, hey, if you want to know more, like reach out. We can have like a meeting or something, or I can let you know. I can send you more info, whatever you want to do. But it's almost like having the post, but then creating a call to action so that there's something that they do. They don't just look at the post and like it and like, okay, end of day. You want them to see the post, like it, and reach out to you or schedule an appointment with you, or maybe you want to share a website page with them. You want them to click on that. So just thinking about that. And then I think the easiest ones, you already have access to Command Designs through Command, but you also have Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. That's another, thing that you can use to create your graphics and share. That way you don't have to be doing everything from scratch. It's so much easier to just use a template, edit it to how you like, and then just post it out. So work smarter, not harder. That's the goal here. So now we're gonna go into a few more strategies for social media, and then I think we're gonna wrap up after that. So again, just re-highlighting, it's important to be authentic when we're posting on social media. You want to show people, who you really are, and it lets people feel like they know you better when they see you posting things that are like about your life or your interests or things you do. People are more drawn to you, and it's the authentic version of yourself that makes people want to do business with you. We already know you don't want to be working with a salesy cars person. Why would you want to work with a salesy real estate person? Think about that and make sure that you're showing who you really are as a person, not just an entrepreneur. You want a good mix of both. We also kind of talked about don't be a jack of all trades on social media. Please do not use every single social media platform and link it all on like your business card. That's insane. You want to make sure you have like 2 to 3 that you're active on and you use and you enjoy using. That way, if people follow you on there, they can see that you're actually updating, you're putting out content, things like that. If you don't like it, you're not going to use it. You also want to make sure to embrace video. I feel like video, it's always kind of been there, but it's recently had a huge push towards video specifically. I think TikTok is probably a big reason for that. Now Instagram and Facebook have Reels, which are essentially very similar to TikToks. So don't be afraid to just do a little video. It doesn't have to be like 3 minutes long. It could be like 20 seconds. It could be 10 seconds if you really want. Just doing like clips of open houses you're doing. Or again, you can do like a really short day in the life of a realtor video. Like just do like a 2-second clip throughout your day. Then just put it all together. There you go. There's also we mentioned like the stories in the top. That's super easy if you just want to add a quick like 5-second story about just what you're doing. Maybe you're even attending like an event at the market center, or you're in a class at the market center. Just showing like what you're doing, showing your office. People are nosy. They always want to like see what people are up to. So it's always fun just to post like a little update on what's happening. And with the stories too, if you post it on there, you can actually add it to, on Instagram at least, they have what's called like highlights. So right under your biography, they have, I think they're like little circles, and you can save highlights of your stories that you've posted. So if you post a story, since those expire in 24 hours, if you want to keep it, you just add it to your highlight reel, and people can always go and click on that and watch it from there. So that's an easy way to just post something quick, but keep it permanent on your page if you want. I also like to add in that it's good to add in like a few real situations every so often. So if you're going through like a challenging time in your life, you don't have to explain in full detail about what's happening. But if maybe your dog is sick, I feel like I use a lot of animal examples, but let's say your dog's not feeling well, and you post a thing just saying like, hey, my dog's not feeling well. Does anyone know like a vet they recommend or something? People are probably going to want to help you. And they're going to want updates about what happened to your dog. So expect, a few days later, oh my God, like, how's it been? Is your dog okay? They might ask you for an update directly or just reach out to you. Oh my gosh, I heard about your dog. It's good to be personable and show that you're human. And in general, social media is kind of like a full highlight reel. People want to only really post what's going on really well in their life because we want to show that we're successful and we're happy and, we're doing all the things we want to do. But it's good to kind of be realistic and have those little moments so that people show, oh, okay, like she's being real. She's being authentic and showing, that you're a real person, you go through real things. It kind of takes off that, I don't know what it's called, but like in social media, sometimes you see people and like, I think of like a fitness influencer, for example, they're only going to post good pictures of them. They're not going to post a picture where it's a bad angle or there's bad lighting, things like that. But sometimes when they do post that picture, they have like no filter, no makeup, no filter, whatever. It makes you feel like, oh, okay, like she looks more like me. But if I edit my pictures like a ton and I have like, I don't know, like even if I do like my eyes a different color or something like that, if you see me in person, you'll be like, whoa, who's that? You're not even gonna recognize me. So you want to make sure that you're just being authentic and, showing people that you are who you say you are. And when they meet you in person, that, you look like how you look. And then we also have, using analytics to optimize your posts. This one, I don't think a lot of people know about or really check that regularly. There's a few programs you can use as well. But even if you have like an Instagram or a Facebook business account, those come with analytics on there. You just have to go to your settings and I think it's just called like analytics. It's like analytics and tools or something. But it'll show you information like how often people are like your followers, how often they're on Instagram, for example. It'll show the hours that they're on Instagram. So that gives you kind of insight to thinking, well, if I see a lot of people are showing up on my page on Thursdays between like 2 to 4 p.m., I'm going to want to make sure I have something going out like right before that time or during that time. That way, when people are on, chances are they're more likely to see it. So there's things like that. It also tells you even who your demographic is. It literally tells you like the ratio of like how many men to women you have on your account. It'll tell you an age range, like what type of age range. It might not be entirely accurate, but it's kind of like Instagram and Facebook's way of, they kind of like guess. Sometimes they do have accurate information. So like if you put your birthday, things like that. But it helps you all in the end, just figuring out, who your audience is and how you can better cater to them. And then the last thing is to just don't be afraid to ask for help. You can get help from pretty much anywhere. Your Market Center leadership, we're all here to help you. It could be a class, it could be coaching. Mara's a great coach. You can always ask her for tips. Even just fellow agents, with productivity coaching, you guys are all kind of in like a big boat together. So it's good to like bounce ideas off each other and be like, hey, I saw you posted, maybe you're not great with video, but you want to start, but you saw someone who posts videos and they seem comfortable doing it. I would reach out to them and be like, oh, how do you set it up? Like, how do you have your phone set up? What kind of lighting do you use? It doesn't have to be that technical either way. You can even ask like, how do you edit it? How would I like do this? Or just get ideas from people again. Even if you don't want to straight out ask for help, you can find resources online or see other people that are posting that you think you could do too, and just kind of do that as well. That's good to ask for help, and most people are going to help you. People like being of service. So now we're going to have a recap. We're just going to review real quick. We went over the 10-5-1 engagement system. So we have our 10 likes, loves, whatever. We got our 5 comments, and then we have our 1 share, DM, or original post. We're going to want to make sure that 80% of those posts are going to be personal posts, so something about us that we can share, just about who we are and what we do besides real estate. And then 20% of those posts are going to be the business ones, so everything real estate and how we can help. You also, if you want to go that 110%, go above and beyond and post things of community service, whether it's you volunteering, maybe you're offering helpful resources, links, things like that. Just be an asset to your community and show that you're pretty big in your community. You know what you're doing. You recognize the area well, and you want to help, whether it's beautify it or help elevate it, help offer more resources, volunteer your time, money, anything. You just want to show that you're engaged. And then we also went over some social media strategies. So we have the don't post and ghost. We have our add value, and to make sure you highlight your business. And then I think that's the last one. We'll go over one last bit of ahas, or if you guys have any questions. I know it's a lot, but do you guys have any questions or ahas that we can go over at the end? Do we feel like we learned something? Okay, great. I'll leave you guys with that then. Just to think too, how has your thinking changed? What ideas, your mindsets were new? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today? Think about going forward. So I want you guys hopefully to go home with an action item, just even if it's a simple thing that you've maybe been thinking about doing, but you haven't until now. And just being intentional. So think about the 10-5-1. Go ahead, and it's super easy just to go like 10 posts, comment on 5, and then send 1 DM or post something. Post a selfie. That'll get you likes, like we mentioned. People always love seeing smiling faces. So yeah, just get yourself out there. Or if you don't even have really social media yet, you don't have it set up, make an account. That's a great action item. Just have it on there. Fill out your bio, put a profile picture, things like that. I know we talked about hashtags a little bit. Do some research on what hashtags seem to be really popular on the platform of your choice. Just, take at least one thing and go ahead and implement it today. Especially with social media, it's something that you don't need to spend a ton of time to get set up. It's kind of like you just make an account and you can go for it. So I hope you guys got something from this class today, hopefully more than one thing. But yeah, thank you for joining. I hope to see you in another Ignite class soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions? We're good?
You're good.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.